Welcome back as we join you with breaking news from Star News Martinsville this evening. Our own Nick Jansen joins me on the set talking about a high-speed chase that tore through portions of Collinsville earlier today. Dick, this was a potentially very serious situation as this was really in the rush hour, if you will, of traffic in the afternoon, and a high-speed chase down a major thoroughfare.
Yeah, I agree. This occurred approximately between 3 and 4 o'clock this afternoon, which everyone knows it's a lot of shift changing going on. Traffic was busy. There was a funeral procession in place of all things. Again, this is the video that was shot earlier this afternoon just after the pursuit had come to a halt. We do believe it is a James Murray of 31 Primitive Drive of Ridgeway is the gentleman who is in custody at this point in time and ended up with several charges. And
this, again, as we said, could have been a much worse situation than it was. Heavy damage to the vehicle that you see here. This is the suspect vehicle, the license tag torn away. Also, the left front tire completely gone off the rim, and we see more damage to the side and undercarriage of that vehicle. Let's join this interview with Lieutenant Colonel Steve Eanes.
What can you tell us happened today?
Earlier today, we had a call that there had been a larceny involved in one of the convenience stores, and the description of the vehicle was put out. I also got behind the vehicle, located, and when he turned the blue lights on, he decided to take off and run. He ran just short distance up Virginia Avenue, and he wrecked here.
Just for the folks at home can understand, what are some of the sort of wrong reasons to go on a run like this? I mean, why not just pull over and give up?
Oh, there's never a reason to run. I mean, you stop and you take care of what the situation is and whatever it is, and it'll be worked out. When you run like this, you run the risk of hurting somebody innocently. You run the risk of hurting yourself. You run the risk of hurting an officer. It's not smart to do that.
I see. And then about how long after the convenience store, and if you don't mind me asking which convenience store, how long after that before the apprehension, before all this took place?
I'm not exactly sure of exactly which store it is, so I'd rather not say and so forth, and I'm not sure the exact time frame. It was within 10 to 15 minutes, I think.
I understand. Well, thank you very much, Lieutenant Colonel Eanes.
Okay.
You know, I think that Lieutenant Colonel Eanes summed it up well there, Dick. There's never a good reason to run, and this is proof positive right here.
I couldn't agree more, Scott, and I think it's just very fascinating and what really causes someone to run. If I was to be driving through town, for example, and seeing a high-speed pursuit, the last thing I would imagine it would be in relation to is a carton of cigarettes, which is where this story originated from. The Fast Mart, which is near College Drive, which you'll be seeing some of these pictures coming up of the location, excuse me, here shortly. And another interesting fact about it is it's right down from the sheriff's office. I don't recall the last time we've had an incident like this originate next door, more or less, to the sheriff's office. The gentleman went in to swipe his debit card to pay for a carton of cigarettes. To my understanding, and this comes directly from Thomas Rogers, who is a store manager there at the Fast Mart location, who was there running the cash register while this happened, stating that once it was declined, it almost seemed to bother the gentleman. He could instantly tell a change in his demeanor. Once the credit card was returned and Mr. Rogers had asked for an alternate form of payment, the gentleman reclaimed his debit card along with the carton of cigarettes. That's when he exited the establishment and began to leave, you know, what we call grab and go. He pulled a grab and go on the carton of cigarettes. The interesting turn to this whole thing is that a civilian, if you will, a good Samaritan, followed this gentleman in his own personal vehicle long enough to get a description of the vehicle as well as the tags, also noting that he was going in excess speeds of 80 miles an hour.
It would certainly seem to be a rash decision, just illogical, but of course we don't know what's going through the mind of this individual. We know that a lot of people are very stressed as of late. The economic situation, of course, has been challenging in Martinsville and Henry County for some time, really challenging nationwide now, and sometimes, you know, if you have those stressors already in place, it just takes that little something perhaps to set someone off. But again, here is another reason not only should you not run from the police, but think through your actions. You could wind up in a much tighter spot than simply not getting your cigarettes.
I agree, and I think it's very interesting to note the charges as well. Reckless driving, felony police eluding, a third offense of larceny as well as driving without a county decal. Now I'm going to try and do what I can. The sheriff's office is almost closed at this point, but I did also receive some side information that I cannot release yet until I confirm with authorities. But I will say that we are expecting to hear more from this story. And again, just a terrible, terrible accident, as you can see. And I think another thing to keynote in this is that the gentleman even went at these high rates of speed, even as a funeral procession was going on, which there in itself, to me, denotes a sense of desperation and an attempt to escape.
Well, we certainly thank you for that on-the-spot reporting and the excellent footage there, Dick. And remember, folks, you saw it here, News First, on Star News Martinsville. We'll be back with more right after this.